The storm came out of nowhere, easy, violent, merciless. Hailstones slammed against car roofs like someone firing bullets from the sky. Traffic stopped. People screamed and ran for cover. And in the middle of the chaos, a tiny shape huddled on the sidewalk, a little girl. Trembling arms wrapped around her head as chunks of ice crashed all around her. When the tall man in the black coat sprinted toward her, no one knew why a CEO would risk his life and weather that shattered glass. But when he scooped her into his arms, shielding her with his own body, the child whispered something that froze him more than the storm did. "My mom used to tell me about you." Before we uncover the truth behind her haunting words, please like this video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories so you never miss powerful stories like this one. The hailstorm was the worst the city had seen in decades, catching everyone off guard beneath a sky that had turned gray like a warning no one listened to. Adrian Blake, a powerful CEO, known for his stoic leadership and solitary lifestyle, had just left an emergency board meeting when the first hailstones fell. His chauffeur urged him to stay inside the building, but something in instinct, a pull, made Adrian dismiss him and step outside. He didn't know what he was looking for until he heard it. A faint, terrified sob swallowed by the roaring storm. His eyes darted across the crowded street, and that's when he saw her, a tiny girl about 6 years old, cowering beside a street lamp, trying desperately to protect herself from the ice shards crashing around her. Without thinking, without calculating risk the way he always did in business, Adrian sprinted toward her, his expensive suit instantly drenched, shoulders stinging as hail pelted him. He reached her just as a large chunk of ice shattered inches from her head. He dropped to his knees, wrapped his arms around her, and pulled her tightly against his chest. "You're safe," he told her, though his voice shook. "I've got you." The child trembled violently, fingers gripping the lapels of his coat like she feared he might disappear. When the storm finally slowed, he carried her into the lobby of his corporate tower, ignoring gasps from employees who had never seen him so disheveled or so human. He set the girl down gently, kneeling to meet her eyes. Her hair was soaked, her cheeks pale, and her tiny hands still shaking. "Where are your parents?" Adrian asked softly. She lifted her eyes, large, brown, and filled with a sorrow no child should know. I don't have a daddy," she whispered. "And my mom. She's gone now." The word struck him like another hailstone. He swallowed, trying to steady himself. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then said Mia. Something about her name tugged at a memory buried deep within him. But he pushed the thought aside and focused on keeping her calm. He guided her to a warm office room, wrapped her in a dry blanket, and offered her hot cocoa. She held the cup with both hands, warming her fingers. And then, when she met his gaze again, she said the words that stole his breath. "My mom used to tell me about you." Adrian froze. Confusion, disbelief, and an unexplainable dread washed over him. "Your mom knew me?" he asked carefully. Mia nodded. "She said you were a good man. She said you once helped her when she needed someone the most." Adrian's mind raced. He had helped many people, employees, charities, strangers, but something about the way Mia said it felt personal. He leaned closer. "What was your mom's name?" Mia looked down, fingers tightening around the cup. Her name was Lily. The name hit him like a punch to the chest. Lily Carter. A woman he had met over a decade ago. A woman he had once shared a fleeting but meaningful moment with on a night when both of them were strangers carrying heavy burdens. She had helped him when he was at his lowest, long before he built his empire. Long before he became a father himself to his 10-year-old son. Caleb. They had lost touch, life pulling them in different directions. But her kindness had stayed with him like a ghost he never properly thanked. He never knew she'd had a child, let alone one who now sat before him, looking at him as though he were someone important, someone tied to her mother's final memories. Adrian felt a strange ache bloom inside him. He asked gently, "Why were you alone out there?" Mia's lips trembled. "My aunt. She got mad. She told me to get out of the house. Then the hail started, and I tried to go back, but the door was locked. Rage flared inside Adrian, rage at the world that had failed this child. Rage at the guardian who had abandoned her in a deadly storm. But he forced himself to remain calm for Mia's sake. "You're safe now," he whispered. "I won't let anything happen to you." And for the first time since the storm, Mia's shoulders relaxed. She believed him. And without fully realizing it, Adrian Blake, the aloof CEO, who never let anyone close, felt something shift. This child wasn't just a girl he'd rescued. She was connected to a past he had never healed from. A past about to unravel in ways none of them were prepared for. After ensuring Mia was safe and warm, Adrian contacted Child Services, but as the hours passed, he couldn't shake the overwhelming protectiveness blooming inside him. Every time Mia flinched at a loud noise or looked around anxiously, he moved a little closer, reassuring her with soft words and steady hands. Caleb, his son, arrived after school and immediately noticed the little girl sitting wrapped in a blanket near Adrian's desk. "Dad," he asked, eyes wide. "Who is she?" Mia looked up shyly, and Caleb, always gentle-hearted despite having a powerful CEO for a father, offered her his juice box and whispered, "Don't be scared. Dad helps people." Mia smiled faintly, and something warm spread in Adrian's chest as he watched the two children interact as if they had known each other forever. When the social worker arrived, Mia clung to Adrian's sleeve, refusing to let go. "Please don't send me back," she begged in sin language, a language she barely knew, but somehow managed to express through gestures instinctively. Adrian felt his heart crack open. The social worker raised an eyebrow, noting the child's panic, and asked Adrian if he would be willing to take temporary custody while they investigated the aunt's negligence. Adrian said yes before the question was even finished. Days turned into weeks, and Mia settled into the Blake household, as though she'd always belonged there. She shared a room with Caleb at first, then later one that Adrian furnished with soft blankets, pastel curtains, and shelves full of books. She laughed more. She ate better. She slept through the night, a luxury she hadn't had in years, according to her therapist. But the deeper Adrian cared for her, the more the ghost of Lily Carter hovered around him. He found an old message she once wrote him. Message he never replied to because life pulled him away. "Thank you for seeing me when no one else did." He wondered if she ever meant to tell him more, if she had hoped for something beyond that single night of honesty between two hurting strangers. And each time he looked at Mia, he saw glimmers of Lily in her smile, her gentle way of comforting others, her habit of humming when she was nervous. One quiet night, Mia approached him with a small, creased photograph. "This was my mom," she said, placing it carefully in his hands. Adrian's breath caught. Lily's face smiled up at him, soft and kind, exactly as he remembered. "She told me," Mia whispered, "that if I ever saw you, I could trust you. She said you saved her once. So, she thought maybe you could save me too." Adrian closed his eyes, the weight of her words sinking deep. He knelt and held her tightly, whispering, "I'm so sorry she's not here. But I promise you, Mia, I won't let you feel alone again." Caleb joined them in the embrace, and for the first time in a long time, Adrian felt like his broken family was becoming whole in a way he hadn't expected. When the investigation concluded, Mia's aunt lost her guardianship due to neglect. The social worker asked if Adrian wanted to pursue permanent adoption. He didn't hesitate. "She's already my daughter," he said firmly. In the months that followed, Mia transformed. She blossomed with love, security, and belonging. She walked hand in hand with Caleb to school, ate dinner with a family who cherished her, and every night before bed, she whispered, "Good night, Daddy," in a soft voice that healed parts of Adrian he thought were forever shattered. On the day the adoption papers were finalized, he took Mia to the hill overlooking the city, Lily's favorite place according to her journal. Mia placed a small flower on the grass. "Mom," she whispered, "I found him." "Just like you said I would." Adrian put his arm around her, tears blurring the skyline. He whispered to the wind, "Thank you, Lily. I'll protect her. Always." And with that, the storm that once tried to take Mia's life became the beginning of the family she was always meant to find. If this story moved your heart, please like this video and subscribe to Hopeful Stories for more emotional, inspiring stories about love, courage, and the miracles that find us when we least expect them.